welcome you all for the Python network automation course or the demo which we are going through right now. So this is for a beginner to advanced level of candidate. So basically, this is going to be the Python focused batch. So if you are looking for Python, Ansible, and REST API, then we also have another course. So this is especially from the Python perspective. So for engineers, network engineers who are specially looking from Python side, so this is a very good course, and I'll just go through on this. So this will be focused on Netmiko, Nornir, pyATS, robot framework, and Flask. So Netmiko, Nornir are the SSH based libraries. pyAT is for the regression testing, and robot framework these days are used for writing the test cases and do the upgradation or run the audit. And Flask is used as a front-end programming language. So if in case you're writing your own dashboard and uh, from the drop down or from the options, if you enter the IP address, click on the submit button, you get the output. So this is a front-end programming, whereas rest of the things are back-end programming. Netmiko, Nornir, pyAT, robot framework, and this is a front-end. Okay. So I'll just show you what are we going to also cover in this. So this is almost going to be one to 1.5 month because it's a weekdays, same time, 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. So daily 1.5 hour or 2 hours max, or 1 to 1.5, okay, because it's a working day. So it's going to be a 1 to 1.5 month. And in the first week, we will be going through the basics of Python and basics on getting connected to Cisco devices and running the basic command. So this is all the day-wise segregation. What are we going to have on the second day? The second day, we will be enhancing those scripts to run the multiple commands to have a delay factor introduced, to parse the data into the structured data, handle the incorrect commands or error and backing up the running config. Then the day three will be looking at the config push and config push from a file, or the validation of the post change output, or in case you want to do a rollback. Then we're going to check the multi-device automation. So multi-device automation in the sense when we will have also multi-vendor, and when you are having an Excel sheet with multiple devices kept, and how do you manage in those circumstances? And then some advanced Netmiko use cases. So this is a week one, all 5 days. If we go Monday to Friday, otherwise if we go Monday to Thursday or Monday to Wednesday, then we will carry forward it to the next week. Okay, so no rush. We'll make sure that everyone is uh, good enough with the topic, and we take it to the next day. Okay. Then we go to the Nornia. So Nornir also has respective 5 days of classes where we also integrate Netmiko and Nornir and do the use cases. So why we need Nornir when we have a Netmiko? So Netmiko by default works connection after connection. So it might take you more time to run on 100 devices, whereas Nornir run on the concurrency. So at a time you can run this on a 10 devices or more than 10 devices. So you prefer the solution which can be completed in a faster manner rather than taking whole day to take the backup or whole day to push some config. You can just finish everything in an hour or two. So while we do this in the class, you will understand what's the difference. But to give you a little highlight on Nornir, Nornir also comprises of these modules: Netmiko, Paramiko, Scrapply, and lot many other things. Nornir is just for concurrency, and all the other functionality it still relies on Netmiko and other things. So these are libraries. Okay, so why we need this library? For the SSH connectivity. If my Python script has to talk to Cisco device, so what Cisco device is going to respond to? It will respond to Telnet or SSH or SNMP or HTTP, right? These are few protocols where the Cisco device or any device, Palo Alto, it respond to SSH. FortiGate, it respond to SSH. So I need a library which is designed to initiate the SSH connection. So these will give me that, and I can run my script. I can take the backup. I can run the task, all major complex tasks that like upgradation, audit, pre and post, diff check. Everything can be run through this library. Okay. And then week 3, we'll go to pyATS. Why did I include pyATS? Because this is also part of your CCI level. So if you want to do CCI automation, then pyATS is one such topic. This is a library, or you can say this is a framework which is designed by Cisco. So Cisco BU, or I mean the developer side, they use it for software testing and regression testing. So let's say if you want to run some unit test on OSPF. So you can't just run one or two commands like show IP OSPF neighbor or show IP OSPF database. Whereas pyATS will make it much more easier for you, because let's say if you wanted to run a test case for OSPF, and you want to put a test case that if I find a neighbor with the uptime below 5 seconds or 5 minutes, flag it. Or if you put some more condition that if I get the scanned report stating that there is a OSPF with DR others, so give me the report. So it is going to scan through the entire network, make its own calculation, and give you the only output stating that this router R1 is having a OSPF neighbor with neighborship uptime below 1 minute, and also it is having DR others. So it helps you to troubleshoot and get the findings. Whereas in this, what happens? You get the output, but you still have to make your logic. You still have to check, or you have to write the logic, or you have to uh, still use your brain for that. But these are for someone who just want to run a lot of unit tests, regression testing. So it can be a combination of 40 commands that you don't have to define, but it will do its job. So like here, if for example, test for BGP session. So if you just put learn BGP, it will run a set of 40 to 50 internal command on Cisco device and get everything that you want. And also if you have put some test cases, it is going to give you that. So if there is a neighbor with down status, then pull that. If you write a status, a test case, neighbor with less than 5 minute neighborship, it will fetch you. So you just have to sit relaxed and run the script. It will help you with all the findings. So that is where pyATS come, and this is a part of CCI automation. So I have included in our Python batch so that it will be useful for people going towards CCI or CCNP later. And then week 4, that is the last week, where we will be going through the Flask and robot framework. So a bit on both. So Flask is a front-end programming which will be used writing the dashboard. So you can prepare any application. You are preparing a small application to um, let your own NOC engineers to fetch show IP in brief or show run. So you don't want them to log in via SSH or the PuTTY session. You just want to give them some dashboard where they go and enter few commands, or they can select from the drop down, and the output is with them. So let's say if you write up application where that application can give you all the BGP neighbors in your network, and also show you which neighbor is down. So you can just create some dashboard, ready-made dashboard, keep all the device inventory in the backend so that they just go to respective drop down, select the needful answer, needful option, and they click on the submit button. They don't get the backend access of either your script or the device, because in some cases what happens, customer don't let those NOC and the L1 engineers have a direct access to the device. So they ask you to create some application. From the application you can access any devices and fetch whatever you need, and it's all read only methods. And robot framework, it's a keyword based solution, programming solution. And Cisco has an application called as network automation tool. Okay, it's CXTM. So if you anytime search for CXTM Cisco, so this is a tool which is designed by Cisco. So many Cisco partnered clients use this product these days, CXTM. So CXTM is an application, and this application accept the robot framework. So that's why I've included robot framework, because if you are working for a Cisco partnered customer or a client, then there is a chances that you will be using this product. Like how Ansible has something called Ansible automation tool, or AWS. So this is an inbuilt product by Cisco. So this is an application which you can host in your EXI server, and inside this you can write any test cases. So your test cases are written via robot framework. Okay. So that is why this course is more focused from the Python side, Python networking side, rather than all other like, so for some people Ansible is not something they want, or API something they don't want it. So we have just removed those topic, and we have focused on the one which is related to Python. But if in case you wanted to have Python Ansible, then we also have that outline. So we are having one weekend batch, which is having Python, Ansible, API, DevNet, CCNA DevNet. And this is going to be the CCNA batch. I mean, this is going to be the weekend batch, the one which I'm showing right now, the Python oriented. So this is going to be Python, Ansible, API, and DevNet. So this is almost like a 3 to 4 month course on a weekend, Saturday, Sunday. And this is the course module. So Python theory, Python libraries, then Ansible AWX playbook, REST API, and then we have the Cisco DevNet at the end. Okay. So it depends on your interest, also your budget. If you find you need only Python, then focus on that, because that's a little bit less expensive than the other one. If you need all of them, all Ansible and APIs and all the things, then definitely it might be little costlier than the previous one. So we have our backend team. So once I finish my technical part, then I'll hand it over to them so that they can discuss about the pricing and the discounts and all those things. Okay. So keep your question parked if it's related to pricing or schedule, or what do you get included. So the right person will join after I finish my technical presentation. So I just cleared you with the syllabus now. Let's get into some more technical things now. Okay, so since I see a good number of participants, let's keep it bit interactive. So what is the challenges that you face in the traditional networking, or let's say, what are the automation areas that you think you have seen or you're working, or might be you think it should be done, or like, what are the challenges that you find in the traditional and you think that it should have been done automated? So let's keep it interactive. You can give me some points, like, so I'll just put one of them so you will get some understanding. So let's say if I wanted to run a change window on a multiple devices, so I have to manually log in from one device to another device and do it, right? Whereas my script, automation script, can do it all together from a single script itself. So single script to push all configs, correct? So this is the solution for that. So if it's related to the configuration push, I can do it all from the single script. I can include all thousands of devices in just a single script. So now, do you have anything? Can you correlate anything from your prediction?
iOS
Yes, like
upgradation for multiple devices.
Sorry, come again.
iOS upgradation for multiple devices.
Sorry, I could not get it. Can you repeat?
iOS upgradations.
Yeah, iOS upgradation, correct. Yeah. So that's something nowadays everyone prefer to do the write the script and do the upgradation. So how used to be this, like in a traditional manner? How used to be this? I mean, what are the manual steps that you do?
Yeah,
using the
basically, so
copy the
we have
iOS
to.
image first, then run the install command, then reload the switches. Before that, we have to do the pre-checks and the post-checks. That is the main part, which
Yes,
can be
correct.
automated.
Yes, correct. So starting from file transfer, image transfer to the disk of the device, then taking the pre-check, then setting up the config register, setting up the boot variable, reload process, then taking the post check, then making the diff report analysis. So all the steps is a part of upgrade. And we can write a single script to handle all this thing. We in fact get a diff report generated, which is also one use cases in our course syllabus, where I'll show you how to make this kind of diff report using the pre and the post collection. So you get an HTML at the end. When you open them, you will find with the color differences. So if there is something deleted or something, you will get it in a red color. If something is good, no change, green. If there was any changes or upgradation, then in a yellow color. So it helps you to identify if there was any changes happened after your upgradation process. Okay, what else do you think that we have moved towards automation or we should move towards automation?
Backup from multiple devices.
Sorry?
Backup device backup from multiple devices.
Yes. So device backup, because what happens currently, people pay a huge amount to these for the backup purpose, right? To take a backup, etc. But if you write a single Python script and schedule it, saying that every Friday, let's say 2 a.m., you just want to run this backup and collect all entire configs in a notepad, right? So that can be achievable with the automation script. What else that do you think?
A repetitive task.
Yes. So if you want to, let's say if you want to push the firewall policy on a daily basis, or let's say uh, you want to add your blacklisted IP on your object group, right? So it is something and which happens on a daily basis. You're creating a F5 virtual server. You're writing any ACLs. You're writing. So these are all repetitive tasks that happens on your day-to-day job. So sometimes what happened to just update 10 lines of ACLs on daily basis on multiple devices, it's a time consuming process. So you can run a script and you can handle that, the repetitive task. What else? Anything else that
Can
Network
we
valid
implement this
network
in
validation.
the monitoring system to get the report of active or maybe down alerts? Can
Health
we apply?
checks.
yes, you have SNMP for that. So you can write a Python script with the SNMP to get all the polling reports. So if any interface goes down, to send
Mm.
you an alert via email or uh, tools like Discord or all those things, integrations, you can do it.
So you will teach us, Sagar, or somebody else will take a call once we
No,
join them.
no, I'll be taking the entire class. Okay.
I so you have that experience with real time, just to know nothing else as a demo class.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Because earlier when I was a part of network journey, they don't give that Python. I think it's a newly they started. Looks like, if I'm not
No,
wrong.
no. This course was there from a long time.
Okay.
Python automation, we started 5 years back. Then only from
Okay.
our course
With
outline many
network
other.
part,
Huh?
network is scripting.
Yeah, network scripting only. Because we are network engineers, so we don't teach automation from application or server side, only
Yeah,
network.
yeah. Correct, correct. So in the classes, you will be having the maybe a firewalls where you will apply and sort of a
Correct.
scripting.
Yeah. Yes, you can see our lab topology as well,
Hmm.
which will have Cisco, Palo, FortiGate, SD-WAN, ACI, because these are the end devices that I'll be considering. So this is one glimpse of one of the topology. So this has a iOS router, iOS XE router, Juniper VXRX, Arista switch, Cisco ASA. We have also one more topology where we have Palo Alto and FortiGate. And if you want, we can also add F5 load balancer.
Yeah,
So
that if
that's
you
how
can
that's
add
all.
that, yes.
Yeah. So adding the nodes, we can do it anytime. Okay. So we have large number of candidate from the Cisco background. So we keep like 50% Cisco and remaining we keep all the other vendors.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, come back to the topic. What else that we do via the automation?
Network validation, for example, you do the upgrade and
Hmm.
then make sure that the routing protocols is working properly, all the routes are there. So
Hmm.
which means you use pyATS for that.
Okay,
Elaborate.
yeah, validation. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, pyAT is one solution, but validation. Let's say validation
network
if you want
validation.
to,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, validate the things. Okay. What else? Have you heard about standardization, config standardization, or also called as compliance? And so this is also a major domain where your entire network configs are scanned and checked if they are running on a best practice. And if it is not, then you raise the change to fix them. So it can be ACL standardization, it could be DHCP, it could be MOTD banners, it could be SNMP V3, V2C, it could be telnet port, it could be SSH port, it could be VTY. So each and everything has a best practice. And most in the protection also add ACLs on VTY and other things, right? So we need to make sure that we are calling the right number of line VTY. Let's say sometimes what happened, you have initially line VTY 0 to 4, but after your upgradation, your line 0 to 31 comes up. So from 5 to 31 are unsecured without any ACLs. So you have to run the compliance or the standardization to check how many devices are showing you with 5 to 31 without any ACLs called on that. Then you will run your audit and etc. So you need a script for that to get the device list and then get it done. So that's also one use cases where we use a scripting. Okay, what else that you think about? Anything else? Anything is left? Yeah, I mean, if you talk from the technology, SD-WAN, so SD-WAN, ACI, Catalyst Center, let's say multi-vendor like Palo Alto, FGT, FortiGate, F5, F5 LTM. So what are these? Do they have kind of I mean, do they have SSH or HTTP?
Controller based HTTP REST API.
Yeah, so they are having HTTP, right? So you need REST API. You need a API based automation for this. So Python has libraries like request library and NC client, which can handle all this HTTP request. Okay. So we'll just talk about the communication, how the communication happens. So let's say this is your PC. You got to install Python application, Python program here. Then you need an application. It can be Microsoft Visual Studio, or it can be PyCharm or any other application. Okay. Let's say you have on the other side, you have your devices. Might be you are having Home Lab or GNS. You can do this on GNS 3 and EVNG as well. Okay. You don't need to always have a real device for this. So this can be anything. It could be on a GNS 3. It could be on a EVNG. If you have your labs with a real device, you can use them. But don't do it directly on the production device until you know what is the consequences of running that script. Okay. So you can do it on any test environment which doesn't bring down your network. And what you need rest, you just need the communication between them. So how do the network engineer communicate with the device on a traditional way? They open a putty session or terminal session. They put this command called SSH at the rate, let's say 1.1.1.1, and then you get a prompt from the device. Then you give the value of that. Then the device is going to ask you for password, and then you're going to give the value of that. So once this is done, then you have a successful connection. So this is what happens in a normal scenario. If you open a putty session, you go through this. Might be some of the steps you don't pay that much attention because things just start coming and you just enter the needful thing. But this is what happens in the backend. Okay. So here, when you have Python and the application, you need the same logic. You need someone to initiate those SSH. Because if SSH is not initiated from the client, how is the server going to respond to with username? So that SSH has to be initiated. So when the SSH is initiated, you need a library. Okay, because Python is just a programming language. you need to have a library which is capable of SSH. So there is where we will take up like Netmiko or Nornir or Paramiko. There are a lot of SSH library, pyNTC, NEPAM, lot of libraries. But I'll go with the one which is popular. So let's say I'll go with Netmiko as of now. So I'll select the Netmiko and I'll just install Netmiko. Again, that's all like a click away. It doesn't mean that it's a huge file. It's just might be 5 to 10 MB of a file. That's all. Okay, it all happens step by step. So once you have all the needful things, then you can initiate the SSH communication. And then you're going to get the username prompt, you're going to type the username, you're going to get the password prompt, and then you provide those, and then you have your connection successful. So once you have your connection successful, then you can send the command. So you can run any number of CLI command. You can do the configuration pull. Okay, I mean config push you can do the show commands, you can delete, you can do anything because now you are connected. But again, you can't just do config if you do not have the needful privileges. That depends with what username that you are getting in. So if you are having a necessary privilege, then you can get into the config mode. This is all networking topic. Okay, nothing to do with the automation. So while you create your username, you might have seen that you put something called privilege. So if you keep a privilege 15, you are a admin. That's a highest privilege. You have all the read and write. But let's say if you keep a privilege of only 1 or 2, then you only are limited with read only, right? So this is all your CCNA routing switching, nothing to do with automation. But I'm still telling you how this happens when you run the script. So when you run the script, it's all that username that you're using it. Let's say if you're having a privilege 15, then you can get it directly. You can also get inside the read write mode, which is the configure terminal mode, and push all the configuration. Okay, it's very simple. I'm going to show you some examples as well. So it's very simple. Once you see 1 or 2 example, you will get to know how the things are done. So you only need to learn is writing the script. Okay, what you are supposed to do, or what you are supposed to learn, write the script. Okay, or automation script. Because rest everything your application is taking care. Your programming language is going to take care. You only need to know is how to write the script. So you should know what is dictionary. You should know what is for loop. You should know what is a print function does. You should know what is a while condition here. You should know what is try except here. So these are all your Python basics. So if you're good with your Python basic, then you can start writing your script. And during the interview process these days, automation has become one of a very common topic. They will even ask you to write a small program to run a for loop or to fetch something or to write a condition. So you need to know the basic first. You need to know how to write a script. So let's say if you started with Cisco, you want to fetch something, you want to configure something, you want to take the backup. Later, it is very simple, just 5 to 10% that you need to modify on the existing script to consider Palo Alto or FortiGate or F1. Okay, only 5 to 10% you need to upgrade or delete or modify, because rest of the things are your Python theories. Because for loop for Python, I mean for loop for Cisco, Palo or FortiGate doesn't matter. For loop is for loop. Dictionary is again a Python thing. You are using it for Cisco or Palo Alto or FortiGate, doesn't matter. It's a generic thing. So that's what I say 5%, maximum 5% is something which you need to know where to change and how to change. You can easily take the reference of Cisco automation script and make it adopted for Palo Alto or any other vendor, F5 or anything. So one thing definitely is that CLI command, because the CLI command of Cisco differs from Palo or the FortiGate or LTMs, right? Second thing you should do is a device type update, because in the Cisco we would be mentioning Cisco iOS. If I'm going with Palo Alto, then I'll mention PanOS. If it is a FortiGate, then I'll make so very basic things from the technical side. We will be making the changes. Rest all remain the same, and the script is reusable for another vendor. Okay, so this is something from a high level. I'll just show you my lab environment. So this is an application which is where I put all my devices. So this is a virtual environment. Let's say if I open up a device here. You can see it's an iOS device. So what I need is only IP address, because if I have IP address, then I can update my automation application. I'm using PyCharm. You can use the same, or you can use anything else. So let's say this was an IP address which might be I had the previous day or a previous week. Now let's say I have an updated IP which says .16. Okay, so I update my IP. This is called a list, Python list, and this is called dictionary format, data type called dictionary type. So here I update my username and password, and this is what my device type is. And what am I pushing? What am I doing here? So I'm pushing some configuration. And where is that configuration kept? The configuration is kept on some C drive. So I'm going to go there and check what exactly I'm pushing out from the script. I'm going to go to that path, and what was that file? Config push, right? See, this is the file. So inside this file, I see that these are some config lines. You can have any number of line. You can do a ACL push. You can do a DHCP push. So I'm just writing some NTP server logging host, and I'm configuring some BGP, right? And let's say this is a config that I want to add it across 500 devices. So if that is the case, then you put all your device IPs here. Put a comma separated. So let's say you have a device 2, then you have a device 3, right? You have n number of devices. Let's say you have all your 500 devices inside this.
Sir, sorry
So
to
that is how
interrupt
we
you.
add. Hmm.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
go ahead.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. If we have the 5,000 of IP, then it is possible to we can put all that 5,000 IP in a single Excel sheet and we can put a path where we saved this file. It is possible, or manually we need to
Ye-
put
Yes,
the
yes,
5,000 of IP.
it is possible. See, we have that case here where we keep it
Mhm.
in all in a one single place, and then we read it directly here. Okay, so when you have that, like how we have this one, it's the same thing. This is also reading all the config lines and pushing it. So device IPs can also be fetched from Excel or the Notepad or the CSV. Anything you can fetch it directly. Okay. So what is the script about? Pushing up something. So how do I run this? So to run, I'll just right click and there is a option called run. Then I run the script. Okay. So if the config is good, then it's going to show you the post report saying that it has done the configuration. You can also go to the device and check manually. So this was the device which I got the IP as .16. So you can see that there is some configuration done. The logging host is enabled. Configuration done from the console by admin VTY, right? So from the show run, we can check everything that's done or not done. If there was any problem, it will also show you here. See, I'll just make some, I'll just introduce some problem to that. Let's say if instead of NTP servers and all, I'll just put a wrong CLI to every spot. Okay. I added some fault on few of the line and few lines are good. So you will see that on your output terminal directly. See, something like this you will get. So now you get to know that some CLIs are wrong. So that is what was the use cases there. How do we generate the report? How do we notify the next team or the client that what went good and what went wrong? So everything can be captured as in a documentation and we can send them.
So there are two different files. One is for the config, one is for the number of IPs which we are going to log in into the config.
Come again. I didn't get it properly. Come again.
So there will be two files. One is the config file, that set of lines, or you can say the commands, which I can say config push. I'm not sure. And the second is the number of IPs, the device details which require to log in and do the config.
Correct. Yeah. So one text you can take consider for device IP. Another one you can consider to push the config. You can also take one more notepad if in case you were saving those backup in a notepad. Say let's say after post your changes, you want to collect those here so that you can attach it to your service now ticket or whatever, and you want to close it. So you can put n number of requirement on an existing script.
Sir, one more question. So nowadays we are taking the automatic backup, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So for that purpose, we are configuring one server, virtual server, or physical server. For that, we need to more drive and memory, right? So if I need to every end of the day, we need to schedule the backup, and once next day it should be delayed automatically, and again new end of the day it should be take again. So it is possible here.
Yes, it is
I'm
possible.
taking the and
We
it's but it should be midnight between 12 o'clock like that. How we can set that particular time and like that.
it is possible. I'll just show you one library.
Mhm.
Python library called schedule. This is a library that I use for my use cases to run the
Mhm.
backup at so and so time only. Okay, so I'll just show you that by going to that documentation. There are n number of conditions that are available. Run the backup every day, run the backup every midnight. So you have the option to put the
So
date.
we need to write this, or we need to means
No,
we
we,
have
we
a
we
Python library, right? So we know just we need to call, right?
we need to only call. So we have to first download this library And inside our Netmiko script, I have to call that schedule library.
Okay. And that Paramiko, Netmiko and Paramiko, what is the difference?
No, no,
Paramiko.
Paramiko is very old school. Don't use Paramiko. You can use Netmiko, which is also built on top of Paramiko itself. Okay, Paramiko is very old and there are no such functionalities. Okay, there are actually no developers who are developing it. If you use Netmiko, you can get the updated features coming in.
But sir, Netmiko is support for the VC devices. Actually, if we have the 1,000, just 10 VC sessions for the different locations, and I wanted to know that VC where, but for that 10 different locations is VC calling going on, and I want to know the quality of that VC call. If our GMs or anything's on that VC call and 10 different locations having the calls, and I want to monitor that call's qualities. So it is possible
Hmm.
we can write the one script and define that VC devices IP and then how it should be. Means we need to again backendly configure the one's application. So just we need to call that our VC devices and connected peoples. We get the all details, means quality and audio quality and video quality, those things.
So you should first think from your networking skills only. How you get the quality? Do you log into device and run the command and then take the quality, or you go to any dashboard and then see it visually to say that the quality? So from
Visually, I
visually,
need to
right?
get
Then you should
access.
make use of APIs in this case. If it is a
Okay.
visual dashboard, then with the help of Python script, you should write a API call to that application, and this will get a report generated saying that what is going on and if the quality is good or bad. So that you don't have to go to the dashboard, rather it will generate you the report saying whatever is your condition.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So means
If you would
for
have
that purpose,
hmm.
so for that purpose, we need to learn the HTML, CSS, right? To taking
No, no,
the
no, no,
front
no,
end.
no, not HTML, CSS. You should know HTTP. Again,
HTTP.
there is nothing like you should learn HTTP, but it is good that if you know how HTTP header is made or how HTTP requests are
Mhm.
made, because in HTTP you have requests like get call,
Yes,
post
sir.
call,
Yeah.
delete call, patch, put. So those you should know from HTTP. HTML,
And
CSS, we don't have to learn anything.
I think we don't require any framework for the API, right?
No, no, nothing. We have the inbuilt libraries in Python, like request library and NCC client that will handle.
But API should. But if we are going to create any application, then how we can define the condition over there?
In the
Because
in
Python it was only for the backend purpose, right? And if I need to create some clicking button, yeah, once we click here, I will be face some data. So that is my question.
So if you are building the dashboard using Python, then Flask you should use it, which is a front end program.
So I need to learn externally that one also, right?
No, no, yeah, I mean Flask you should learn. No need of HTML, CSS. If you know HTML, CSS, you can make advanced application. But if
Mhm.
you need a basic thing, then Flask is sufficient.
Okay.
Okay. So Flask is also one of the front end programming.
Okay.
Yeah. But you do,
So
but in the case of this Python, it's very easy to write them. You don't have to be like a software developer.
Mhm.
can you just show us some of the demonstration on the Flask tools,
Yeah, yeah.
how it will look?
I'll show you. I'll show you. So if you are good with example one, then we'll just check some more examples.
One for Flask and one for robotic framework. I'm just interested on those part.
Yeah. So robot, I am not sure whether I'll show you, but Flask I'll show you today. Okay. Yeah. See this example. If you see one example here, someone was asking if there were some device references from Excel file. So this is that reference. Okay. So sometimes what happens, my customer might give me Excel file with different data centers or different branches added here. in the tab format. So like how we have here Bangalore, Pune, Singapore. So he might give us for a different branches, but he want us to run a particular tab on a particular day, not every things to be done. So in that case, this script was designed. So we will be referring to that particular Excel file, and we will be running only that sheet called Bangalore. And then we take all the references, we log into device, we configure it, we push it, everything done from the script itself. So this script has almost all the needful logic. We have the error handling, we have the for loop, we have the if conditions. Okay, we have the while loop iterations, we have Excel reading libraries like Excel RD. So almost all functionality we are using in this. If your device, let's say in this device list out of 100, uh, 10 are failing due to timeout. Let's say 20 are failing due to authentication issue. So how are you going to take them, keep it in a file, and then say that these got failed due to timeout, these got failed due to authentication? So that functionality also has been incorporated into this. So if there is any timeout issue, this is the block which is going to take it. If the device doesn't have a SSH keys, or if you're trying on a device IP which is down at the moment, or if the IPs are changed. So when you do a SSH on a IP which doesn't exist, that's called a timeout scenario, right? So this is the block which will take care of it. It's called error handling. And those IPs will get recorded on a text file in one of my C drive, stating that this is good, this is bad, and etc. Okay, so I have that intelligent features that been added to the script. Okay, so if you want to check, what we will do, we'll take the same IP which I had here, 24.16. Go to this Excel, and we'll just make the change. Okay, so I'll say that it's .16. And also just to show you the other error handling for authentication or something, we can just add something to this. Let's say I'll keep .1, which I don't think exists in my network, because I want to show you the timeout scenario. I'm just keeping .1 there. And also I'll keep one more working device, but I'll mess up with the password so that authentication error is being caught. Okay, so here on the third one, I'll purposefully put a wrong credential to show you how the script will deal in such scenario. I'll save this file. Then I'll go to the script, example2. Okay, and let's go to this folder to see at present what files are present. I'll just delete them if there are any file present. See, basically it should create this file, but let's run it live. So I'm just deleting everything and keeping an empty folder now. And then we just run this. So it will read through your Excel file and get all the details and do the needful job. So 16 got configured. .1 is definitely going to get timed out. See, I'm getting timed out problem because that IP doesn't exist. If you do SSH on a non-existing IP, you get it timed out. And the third issue will be due to authentication, because you seen, right, I put a wrong command. But that is not the main purpose. The main purpose is that these post report. If I open them, I'll get the device that are failing due to timed out, and also I'll get the devices which are failing due to authentication. So what happens once I'm closing my change, I can take this to Notepad and put it on my ticketing tool, or I can email that this is the completion status. Okay, so these are failing due to authentication, these are failing due to timed out, whereas all the other devices are successfully done. All right, so this is called a error handling situation. If you don't add this, what would happen is your script would have got aborted in the first place itself. Out of 100 device, let's say your device 2 is having timed out issue or authentication issue, your script will abort in the device 2 itself. That is how the scripts are. So if it find any issue at device 2, your script is supposed to abort without going to device 3, 4. But we don't want that in the production, right? Because I can't sit in front of Excel and keep removing device 2. Then it will get stopped at device 4. Then I remove that. I mean, what I want it to get documented in this format, but the script should still run till whatever device I've given in my Excel, right? So that is how what we do in the networking side. We don't do live troubleshooting in that change window. We only capture and we send them. If we have the time, we try to fix it and rerun. If it's not the scope of that window, we just notify the customer that these are the issues, you fix it and give me another maintenance window. Okay, so any question with this example? Okay, if there is no question, then we'll jump into one of the example from Flask then. So this is a script which is written for the front-end programming. And as you know that this course is going to touch base the Flask and robot framework and pyATS. I'm showing you one example from Flask, the front end. So what it does, it's written definitely in the backend programming Python, but if you run it, okay, say for example, when you run this, you get a local host dashboard generated automatically. Now what happens? This link you click. When the link is clicked, it is supposed to get opened in one of your browser. Okay. So see, this is how it gets loaded up. So in this, I have not added any major HTML or CSS or Bootstrap. I have not added anything. But if you are well versed with this programming languages like HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, you can actually make a very good appealing dashboards where you can have all that fancy cosmetic things that you want to. But if it is only for the purpose of your automation, etc., then this is a very plain dashboard. So in this dashboard, what happens? We can predefine all that things like inventories, etc., etc. We can make options for these users to type, so they can type their command, or also you can give them predefined CLI commands, because sometimes what happens, they don't remember, right? So they can click on the drop down, select from there, and then execute it. So I'll just show you. Let me fix its input file, okay? Because the IP at my side keeps changing because I use DHCP. So read device from file push config.txt is where I have updated my inventory. So let's say if I go to this text file, so I have the IP .17. It's your choice. If you want to keep, you can keep. If you have 10, 20 BGP routers which you want to keep it, so you can keep a read-only password. Okay, you don't have to keep from read-write credential. You can only keep read-only so that the users can just fetch few things and do the needful. If they have to raise a ISP ticket, they have to raise a vendor ticket. So they don't need read write credential. They only need read only, right? So let's say this is how you design the inventory list, and then you just run the script. So let's say I'm going to run this. I'll just refresh this. Okay. So once my refresh is done, let's say I select R01 and I want to click show IP int brief, and I execute this. So what Flask is going to do? Flask is now going to call the backend Python script. Okay, it says authentication issue. Might be. Let me check what is the. I think it was 16, not 17, right? Let's check. Yeah, it was 16. Okay. Show IP into brief, execute. It is going to make a backend request. Your Netmiko is the one who is going to make a SSH to the device and give back that data to your Flask application. And in the front end, you will have your output revealed. So if you want, you can take the output. If it says that interface down, description, etc., you can take that, attach via email, and raise your vendor ticket or ISP ticket. So why we use this dashboard? This dashboard helps your NOC team and L1 team rather get to the netbox, open the inventory, see which device IP, what is the edge router. It will waste their 20 to 30 minutes. But might be there is a strict SLA that the first notification goes within 5 minutes. So this kind of dashboard helps them because this comes with a predefined devices or region. You can also keep a new tabs for a region, select the region, US, India, etc., etc. When they click that drop down, might be you have a option, next option to select the device. Then they have a predefined. So it saves their time, right? Because when you get alert on your screen with a host name, the host name also has a naming conversion. So in the initial few characters are your country, then the branch and the site, the region, etc. So if a device says US something, so it's a US based. So the NOC team, without any further delay, they'll just select the US region, select the core routers or your distribution switches, put the command show CDP neighbor, show R, show IP in brief. You can also fix those commands and give all the records to the L1 or L2 team so that the next person can start working on his side of troubleshooting, right? So that is where this dashboards are helpful. Otherwise, it will take them ages to open the putty, go to one device, then to other device, and manually, it's going to take a lot of time. Okay, so I believe you got some input. What is backend? What is front end? Where do you have Netmiko? Where do you see Flask? What is error handling? Right. So there are a lot of things that would come in this course of 1 to 2 months. You need to know the basic theory here, how to write the syntaxing, what is indentation, what is for loop. So it's all part of the course that we have designed here. Okay. So someone who joined bit late, I'll just recap. So this is a course, this is a weekdays course, Monday to Thursday, and it's a Python oriented course for network engineer. The prime focus would be from Netmiko, Nornir, pyATS, Robot Framework, and Flask. All these are vendor neutral. That means you can use them for any vendor, Palo, F5, um, Cisco, anything you can use. Okay, this is a vendor neutral. It's not only specific to one or two vendors. It's for any vendor you can use it.
Total,
And
how
this
many
is
library are there? Sorry to interrupt. Total, how many library for the
these are the
vendors?
library: Netmiko, Nornir, pyATS, Robot Framework, and Flask.
Only 5 library are there.
Yeah, that is sufficient. We don't use the same thing over and over, right? You need to talk to the device to run the operations, right? So these are enough. And these are the day-wise segregation. So week one, what are we going to cover? Week two, what are we going to cover? And what are we having week three and week four? So this is a rough figure. If the day one can go to 4 days, 5 days, I'm okay with that. It all depends how much you have understood. But just to put them all on a paper or all on screen, I have come up with something so that you have an idea how the course is going to be. Later, it depends on batch to batch. If some people, a whole batch is good with some basic, then we can speed up. If a batch needs slow down, we will slow down. Okay. So it's just a rough idea for you people to understand how the designs are. We are going to touch base all the networking case studies, all related to networking only. I am not going to mention uh, anything from application or server because I never worked on those areas. My core field is networking side. So I'll only cover from networking and end devices. I'll be taking up Cisco, iOS XC, Palo, SD-WAN, ACI, the top popular ones. If you ask for the cornered ones like Nokia, Huawei, or those things, if I am okay, if I get the image, I will give that to you so that you can use it your side. But in the class, it will be very. I mean, it won't be feasible because 90% are not able to connect with that topic. So if you want something on those corner scenario, we can have one-to-one discussion. But in the class, I'll be talking on only on the major popular ones. And as I told you, when you know the things, it's only 5 to 7% that you need to modify, and you can reuse the same script for any vendor that is usable in the networking side. Okay. So any question from the technical side or anything from the outline or anything from the case studies or anything?
Yeah. How we will do the lab setup?
How many?
How we
Sorry,
will do the lab setup?
lab setup. See, there are two ways. One is we are going to give our pod access via remote, I mean, via internet based. So each one of you get your own access to access them. Second method is if you are having basic RAMs like 16 GB RAM with the 4 core processor, then we will give the whole ready-made setup that you can deploy on your machine. Okay, so two
Kind of
ways we
virtual
can
machines
do
on
that.
our system,
Sorry?
kind of virtual machines deploying on our local laptop.
Yes, yes, that is a virtual machine like VM workstation. So we'll give you a ready-made file in a OVA format that you can upload to your VM workstation. Or if you are having a server, then you can run on your EXI or any other hypervisor. So these are virtualized file that we will give you. So you don't have to run for searching image or etc. It's a ready-made file of 30 to 40 GB. So as soon as you deploy and power on, whatever you saw on my screen, right? 1 second. I was just showing you some lab with few nodes. So the same thing will load up at your end. Questions? Any question? Okay, so if there is no question from technical side, then I'll give it to my management team. They will take care rest of your questions regarding to enrollment and pricing and the batch start date, time, what you get, what you don't get, everything. Those management questions you can ask uh, my management team. So is there any technical question? You can let me know.
Sure.
Okay, then Sajid, are you in the call? Can you take over? I'll just make you host.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, one second. I'll stop my share.
Sajid.
Yes, hi.
Hello. So my name is Muhammad Yasin, and what I believe this is going to be a weekdays batch, and most of the time in the weekdays we are occupied with the task changes incident. So I need to know for how long we are going to get the recording availability.
Okay, first of all, just quickly I will brief it up. I will introduce myself. Myself, Sajid. I'm a student relationship manager and the student counselor. So I'll be giving you all the details regarding to your course and everything. So yeah, your question was like if in case you are attending these classes on weekdays, right? So might be there are chances of missing the classes due to your work and other things. So for your information, like the class recordings will be uploaded in the meantime of 1 to 2 hours. So after that, whenever you want, you can go through the recordings which are present on our LMS. That access will be providing you. So if in case if you missed out the class, you can go through the recording and that are accessible in like 1 to 2 hours later once the class is done. Okay, and after that, once you go through the recording, then you can catch up for the next class by preparing. And if you have any doubt, you can clear it with the trainer.
So this portal access how long?
Yeah, I'll be giving you details. Like you can park your questions at the end. Okay. So firstly, I will start with my like introduction. There, you'll be getting all your answers. So after all, also after that, also if you have any doubts or anything, you can just ask me. So I'll be clearing you out. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Thank you for confirmation. So, yeah, I'll be starting with my first slides related to this course. I have mentioned all the details and class schedules, syllabus regarding this Python network automation fast track course. Okay, so here in this course, we are going to cover Netmiko, Nornir, and pyATS, then Flask GUI, and robotic frameworks, and other things which are explained by our trainers, others in today's session. Okay, and the class schedule will be like this will be going to be a weekdays batch. Sorry, just a second. Yeah, this will be a weekdays batch. So on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3 days in a week, and the timings are from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST Indian time. So the overall course duration will comes up for 1.5 months. Here the classes will be like for 1 hour of session. So sometime if some topics need to be closed at that day itself, right? So sometime so that time it may go for 1 to 1.5 hour or 1 hour 20 minutes 15 minutes as per the topic to close on the same day itself. Okay, and 3 days in a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and remaining days will be off. And the timings like 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST, and which is feasible for UK and US candidates as well, which I hope, and for our Indian students as well. And the duration will be for 1.5 months. Okay, and yeah, so this will be a total fast track course itself. Okay, and I'll be moving towards my next slide. So as you can see here, I have mentioned the details for course enrollment and access details. So what all access you'll be getting once you are going to enroll for this course. As a first point, you'll be getting the lifetime recording access of your classes, which you will be attending through the Zoom meeting. So that recordings will be recorded in the cloud and that will be uploaded to the LMS web portal From there, you can access your recordings whenever you want. If in case, as you mentioned, like if in case if you missed out any particular session, the recordings will be uploaded in 1 to 2 hours. So you can go through the recordings once you are available, and then you can catch up in the next class. And if you have any doubts, you can clear it out in the next session. Okay. And the recording access remains with you for lifetime accessible. Like whenever you want, you can access the recordings in case like if you are preparing for any interviews, or if you are referring for any of your production work, or you're recalling it, anything it case, like you can go through the recordings, and that will be having the lifetime recording access to you. Okay. And secondly, we'll be providing you the 24/7 remote lab access, that you can access it totally remotely, which are hosted on our servers and cloud servers. From there, you'll be getting the remote access using the RDP and other gateways out there. So as per that, you can access the remote labs, which are hosted on our servers and cloud servers. And for this course particularly, you will be getting the 3 months of remote lab access, that you can access it totally remotely 24/7 unlimited. Whenever you want, you can access the labs. Okay, as per your time region, some may be staying in the US, UK, Australia, India, then Malaysia. So as per your convenient time, you can have your practice, and you'll be getting a separate pods for each and every person. Okay, there are no time limits or anything. You will be having your separate different sessions, so you'll be accessing it without any interruption. Okay. And we'll be providing you the dedicated materials like workbooks, PPTs, PDFs, lab manuals, and guides, workbooks, and all the script writing materials via CSV files or via text files. So you can just download the scripts, and you can implement in your networks. And same time, while you are attending the class, that time also you'll be having the sessions for implementing the scripts and everything. Okay. And that you can download, and you can keep it with you as well. Okay. And the G Drive access remains with you for lifetime. Whenever you want, you can have the recordings on your system, and you can you can have a recording access on our LMS. You can have a remote lab access for 3 months, and you'll be having the G Drive access for lifetime. If in case if you missed out any material, you can re-download it. And we'll be providing you the home lab setup as well. Like we'll be assisting you to set a lab on your systems, or it may be on your personal servers. So we'll be providing you the dedicated files and materials to download on your system. So once you download the files, you just need to raise a ticket on our support DL saying I have downloaded so and so files for the home lab setup. So after that, one of our team member will connect with you, and you'll be doing the setup on your systems, or it may be on your server. And that access also remains with you for lifetime accessible till when the what you say, the files are present on your system and the setup is present on your system. Till that, you can access the your labs which are done the setup on your system. Okay. And we'll be providing you the 24/7 backend support from our team. Like if you are facing any issues, any queries regarding to the course, or regarding to the portal, or regarding to the lab, or regarding to your course outline, or any particular topic, if you have any doubts regarding your scripts, anything it may be, I'm just highlighting it. So you can raise a ticket, and like on our support DL. So one of our team member will check it, and he will be forwarding to the right person who can look into it, and you'll be getting the solution with the reply back mail. Okay, as soon as possible in meantime. Okay. This was the what all access and beneficial things you'll be getting once you are going to enroll for this course. I'll be moving towards my next slide.